Hey, Michael, digitaltshirtshop.com. So, wow, it has been an interesting month. We are on August 12th, and um, we've had just a consistent, steady stream of shirts coming in all August. And oh, it's been interesting, even on top of that, all the shirts in August. Um, just to give you an idea of some of the sales. Last month we finished at 355 sales. Actually, reading my little spreadsheet here, I'll do another video later and actually show you the spreadsheet. But um, last month we did 355 sales. This month so far, we are through the 11th of the month and we have done 542 sales. I mean, another couple of days, another few days, and we're going to have doubled last month, and we're only like halfway through the month. And I tell you, it has been, with all of my other shirt sites, it's just compounded and actually really been a lot of shirts to print for us. It's kind of it has actually really stretched me as far as my time and abilities, that I have in order to do the work, which is again is not bad. I mean, love the opportunity of having a lot of sales. I think the financials, once I can finally get them put together, because I just haven't had time right now, the financials for last month, the financials for this month, and putting it together and trying to figure out what type of a profit we made, we'll find out we've actually made a pretty good profit given the number of shirts we sold. So we talked about originally trying to reach 20 shirts a month. I mean, 20 shirts a day on average. Excuse me. Oh. And that at 20 shirts a day on average, we'll make a pretty good income as far as a small business goes, and having monthly sales and consistent sales and bringing in a residual income. It being a home-based business, the intent being I go into business because I want to supplement my household income, bring some sort of income in. Now, the thing that we're going to see on this is now I think this could kind of go two ways. The eclipse passes, which obviously the majority of these shirts are eclipse shirts. I would still say we're probably selling 2 to 5 shirts a day of just other shirts. Far from the 20 shirt a day that we need. The 20 shirt a day is killing it wise is just eclipse shirts. If I could get seasonal shirts that could do equal to what these shirts are doing, where we had 10, 20, 30, excuse me again, oh, sorry about that, 10, 20, 30 shirts a day, that we're selling uh, seasonally through the year. We hit Halloween, September, October, we do that. We hit Christmas and Thanksgiving, November, December, we do that. We hit Valentine's Day, January, February, we do that. There's some holidays in there where it's a little harder to try to hit some of those things, where we look at specific types of events that are coming up. We could probably try to tweak it in a way by catering some of our products, whether it's summer or whether it's fall or whether, different products that meet different seasons and things, and just trying to find things that will be popular. It is still hard because a lot of people cater to the same things. I'm sorry, I'm going to yawn again. It is 4:20 a.m. and I didn't go to bed till after midnight, so I am still tired. So, anyways, um, we might be able to make something like that happen where we're catering to some of those seasonal things. The other option we have is to try to make something that's popular. If we made something that's popular, we could get an equal lifespan out of that product, um, and sales out of that product. You know, but it's finding that popular item is actually quite difficult. And a lot of this kind of reminds me of my discussion with Court, who owns ABC Tees down in Orem. And I was talking to him one day, and he's been printing T-shirts for a long time. And even just a couple months ago, he was telling me, you know, one of these days you're going to have a shirt and it's just going to blow off the shelf, and you're just going to be like, wow, I can't believe that. And you just happen to make the right thing at the right time. But even he said that it's hard to find that. You don't know what's going to actually be that sweet thing that everybody wants. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of am more like the dartboard guy, and I throw lots of options out there, trying to throw darts at the dartboard, hoping that something's going to stick, or you know, a number of things will be popular enough I'll hit my sales goal. Now we do still have about 250 products on the website. We still need to add more products. We still need to find things that are generally interesting to people. And then at a point, we're going to have to go through and purge things that just appear to have no interest with people, and then try to replace them with things that potentially people do have an interest with. So we'll see how all that works over time. But as far as this goes, I mean, the sales are fantastic. And I was telling you a couple things could happen. One, we could possibly find some other products that, you know, will prevent us from dropping clear down to under 5 shirts a day. You know, where we are replacing some of these high sales with some other sales. It's going to be difficult to replace all of them, but I assume after the eclipse there will be a significant decline in interest in these shirts. Another thing that could happen is that there's a tapering off where, you know, the eclipse happens, and then all the people who didn't get a shirt for the eclipse, there's a lot of people who were excited about it and, hey, turn around and buy a shirt. We have, I know I told you about that PR firm that had contacted me about having my shirts on Fox and Friends. Now, I still am not 100% sure that's going to happen. The same company contacted me again and said, hey, would you be willing to, you know, give us some additional shirts, and we're going to try to put them on some other website, you know, other things. One was a Gilmore Girls Revised or something like that. I'm not even sure what it was. A Gilmore's Girls type show. Another one was, I think a couple of them were like teenage, you know, like those what do you call them? Those magazines you see at the checkout line, you know, National Enquirer type things, but for teenagers. And anyways, I was not even familiar with some of them, but I went ahead and sent them a few shirts, and I'm just gonna kind of keep my eye out and see if they do end up on some of these sites. And it's going to give me a great opportunity to turn around, I think, and say, hey, we were featured here, we were featured here, we're featured here. And potentially that may help us as a business in that, you know, it makes us look like a more credible business. It makes us look like a bigger business than this little thing happening in this little room in my basement. So, which would actually not be a bad thing to have, you know, yourself look like a bigger, more credible business, a business that actually your product is interesting and ends up in all these places. So, you know, so those are some other things that could potentially happen that give these t-shirts some longevity and a little bit additional life even after the eclipse. So instead of maybe going from, you know, 40 and 50 and 60 shirts a day in sales, which is what we're currently having. Yesterday we sold 47, the day before 56, the day before 67, 65, 58, 42. You know, lots of sales. But instead of going down to 0 or 5, maybe we drop down to 20, you know, and we sell 20 a day for a week, and then we drop down to 10 and sell 10 a week for another week. And, you know, but again, see a tapering down of sales instead of just a complete, they're gone, you know, which is hopefully wouldn't happen. And then one thing that I am really worried about is, you know, we're going to hit a point here leading up to the eclipse, and I've kind of estimated around the 15th. There's a point at which it's just plain going to be hard to get them that shirt by that event. And I've seen a lot of that and people contacting me and saying, can I get it on time? Can I get it on time? I got to have it by the event. And that's going to be hard to communicate with all the, you have 50 orders come in from Amazon on Thursday and it's on Monday. And how am I supposed to get it to that person? I might sell it on Amazon, but I'm not a 2-day shipper. I take 2 days just to turn it around. It doesn't take 2 days and it's there. And some of these Amazon people are going to be thinking, hey, I buy it from Amazon, I get it in 2 days because I've got Prime. Well, this is not a Prime product. This does not guarantee that you're going to see it in 2 days. Usually it's got to be shipped within 2 days. They want it shipped within 1 day, but I have a 2-day window. Shipped within 2 days, and then it's going to take 2 to 4 days to show up. You got like 6 days. So if you want it by the 1st, it's technically really got to be mailed by the 15th. And I would say it's almost got to be like that no matter what the product is that I sell or the website that I sell it on. If it's not sent by the, unless it's close, West Coast, I could probably ship it on Thursday. I don't know what Thursday is next week. If today is the 12th, Saturday, Sunday, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday would be like the 17th. If I mailed it by the 17th, Thursday, you have Friday, Saturday, getting it on Saturday, so I'm in Utah to Idaho to Nevada to Colorado, Wyoming, kind of pushing it in some of the Arizona, New Mexico, California. Priority versus first class mail. I could still mail them by Thursday, and a lot of these people are still going to get them because they'll get them by Saturday. There are some priority packages that will show up in 2 days, Central and East Coast. But if I'm shipping at first class mail, and even some priorities will take 3 days going to the East Coast. But if I'm shipping at 2 day, for first class mail, and you start going out further than that, you are looking at 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, depending upon how rural or urban you are. I think probably the average on first class is 3 to 4 days, especially going out further. The average for priority is probably the 2 to 3 days. So, but again, hard to communicate with the customer. So that's kind of where we're at. I think, it's just kind of one of those things I can guess, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens because really anything could happen. We didn't hit 100 t-shirts a day, which is something that I thought possibly could happen, but we came pretty close and actually had very significant sales from what we're used to, at that high of 67, I thought was pretty significant. And even though maybe I was estimating in my mind thinking, hey, I could have significant sales. We had significant sales and they were consistent. So this week has also been kind of a funny week because, I did another video earlier about the copyright issue with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and bless his heart, we're not going to be selling any Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stuff. I did contact the company back and see if I could use the term just Rudolph, and I think that I kind of got the impression they didn't write me back that potentially maybe either they don't want to say yes or I can and they don't want to say anything about it. They didn't say anything. I didn't get any type of response. I was just trying to be upfront with them and make sure that, hey, is this going to cross the line or not? And I might have to go and do some digging on my own to just make sure that doesn't cross the line. But I'm pretty sure that they're, from what I've seen, that their trademark is on the name Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the likeness of Mr. Rudolph. So if I don't do any likeness and I don't do the full name Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Rudolph is just a name. Could be anybody, could be anything. Um, Even though most people know you're implying red-nosed reindeer, but you know, um, I just want to make sure that I'm not still not infringing, and I would prefer not than dance around the edges of it. Um, so there's that, and then I keep getting, and I think I might have done a video about this too. Our delivery company keeps just leaving the packages out on the sidewalk, and I don't know if this is the wisest thing to tell YouTube. Anybody could drive by and my packages are laying out on the sidewalk and take my packages, but it's been a little bit irritating because I would think the most unsafe, I mean, I guess the most unsafe places for a place for a delivery driver to leave your packages is in the middle of the road. He could pull up, just push them out the back of the truck so they're laying in the road and drive away. Um, but, typically the mailman comes and the mailman puts the package on your porch, knocks on the door, walks away. Or if you have a mailbox thing, he puts the mail in the mailbox. There's a form of I gave it to you in a sense. UPS, same thing. Unless it's a signature thing, they might just walk up, put it on the door, knock, and leave. Now, unless you watch YouTube, there are plenty of videos of the guy throwing it over the fence, tossing it across the yard, all sorts of things like that. Um, but my delivery driver it's not UPS or FedEx, it's another company. I'm not going to mention their name, but um, I might at some point in some video mention their name that delivers most of my t-shirts. But they do come from Sanmar, and it's not Sanmar's fault, it's the delivery company's fault. But they pull up and they just set the boxes on the curb and drive away. No attempt even to bring them up to the house, no attempt to bring them up to the porch, knock on the door, hey, your packages are here. They just open the back of the truck, throw them on the curb, and drive away. And so, like last night, I come home, and I got home about 7:30 p.m. There's no packages. I had assumed they were there because I've been expecting packages every day this week due to the number of shirts we've been selling. Um, I expected they were there. They were in the house already, whatever. Because my mother-in-law was here printing, and I know she needed some shirts and that. And we had talked about it over the phone earlier, but she never said. She actually walked outside and saw if there were packages. We just talked about going out and seeing if the packages were here and getting the shirt she needed. Um, but we decided, we were really slow at what we were doing yesterday, and decided to go get pizza for dinner and have a really late dinner. And it was like the kids' bedtime. We decided to have pizza instead of put them to bed, so it was bad. So I go walking outside to go pick up the pizza. Otherwise, I would not have walked outside. I would not have even looked outside except to, go lock the doors and, before I went to bed and all of that. So I go walk outside. There are my packages sitting on the curb, uh, outside, like not even joking, sitting out on the curb. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, So they had to have come after 7:30 p.m., sometime between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m., delivering packages, which to me is pretty shocking that, that they would even be out delivering that late at night. It was dark outside, there's not even a hint of the sun in the sky still, just dark outside. And my packages sitting out on the sidewalk. Had I not walked out there, they would have sat out there all night, and anybody could have just walked away with them in the middle of the night, which is frustrating. That they would not even make an attempt to bring it to the porch and let us know that the packages were there, especially when they're delivering them that late in the evening. So I made a complaint with the company last night, again, a second complaint, and I posted a video of it on another YouTube channel that I'm going to delete after they've viewed it. But all around, frustrating that they would do that. And you'd think about it, and I think you spend hundreds of dollars in buying products that you need, and the expectation is that they do show up and they're not left in a position that they could be stolen or something like that. And so it's just been kind of an interesting week. All the sales, a lot of lack of sleep because I've been having to print so much. Fighting with the freight carrier, the copyright issue, and then I'm in the middle of peak season at work. We sell educational products, and this is our bread and butter month where all the teachers are going back to school. This is what keeps us in business, is having a successful back to school season for educators, where they come and buy all the decoratives that they would like for their classrooms, all the materials and supplies they need for their classrooms, and so I'm incredibly busy at work on top of that. And if I had to time this differently, I would have timed it differently so that they weren't piggybacking each other, because it has made that actually somewhat difficult as well. But anyways, that's kind of what's been going on. I know that's kind of a long video addressing a number of different things. But at least, it's a vlog post. It gives you an idea of what's going on and what we're kind of challenged with right now. Behind on a lot of things, behind on, processing returns, behind on running financials, behind on paying commissions, behind on doing a lot of different things. My sister-in-law finished uploading a bunch of products. I still haven't even paid her, and she was asking me about it yesterday. It's made it so I've got a lot less time. But it will even out here. I will get caught up, and hopefully things will just keep chugging along forward. So love to have you subscribe to digitaltshirtshop.com, just there at the bottom of the page. Love to have you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. We'll try to get some more things posted on there. But most of all, like us on and follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we'll keep posting these videos about how our business is doing and whether we're achieving that goal of profitability. It's nice to see that we hit the goal. Now it's a matter of maintaining that goal. I actually was really surprised we hit the goal, but we hit the goal because we are going to blow. Like if I was to even out this month and say that we had 31 days, we're at an average of 17.4 shirts per day, and we're only 11 days in the month if you were to take all the days of the month into consideration. And last month we had averaged 16 shirts a day. The month before that we were at 2.23. So it's a pretty significant difference. Absolutely pretty significant difference. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks. We'll see you.